Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends for another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a lady who is both naturey and supporty, as well as being one of the Forsaken. This is Wickah, and Wickah is of course a legendary. Wickah is nature. Wickah is a female. Wickah is undead. Wickah is very exclusive, and apparently is also a villain. And unfortunately, Wickah showed up with 2 locked ruin slots, so yeah, we're probably going to have to do something about that in the near future. So we're going to find her a little home right here. Nope, got a home over here. Nope. I think that's a much better crew to hang out with. Yeah, stay away from Angelina. She's dangerous. Okay, she just laid the slap down on those guys, man. I can't wait to see what that one does. Alright, so where is she? This is Virdios. No, that's not. We'll find some kind of a good name for her there, right? This is Wickah. Wickah, of course, is a legendary. Wickah is nature. Wickah has an evolving trait with a whole bunch of stuff in it. Wow, that's a lot of stuff right there. First and foremost, Wickah has this. This is her exclusive trait. This means 1, you can only have 1 of her. 2, you can only use her own cells to rank her up. And 3, you can't trade her cells. So it makes it rather difficult to actually do the rest of this. But let's take a look at it anyway. Alright, she starts at rank 0 with a dodge area, which means, of course, group attacks will miss her. She's too sly for that, right? She is also immune to poison. Now, at rank 1, she keeps everything she had, but she gets a status cast to poison the enemies. Now, if you get her to rank 3, she also becomes tough, meaning she has a 35% chance to resist, I'll say an added 35% chance to resist negative status effects. And if you get her all the way to rank 5, if you crack the bank open and do that, mortgage the house, she also gets true vision, which means basically she's just not going to miss. Yeah, that's a whole bunch of stuff right there. All right, and I'll tell you something. Just the rank 0 stuff is really good to begin with there. Immunity to poison, and of course the dodge area is just really very good. All right, let's check out her stats. All right, the strength is actually pretty good, considering, I believe she's a supporty one, right? Her life is actually pretty meaty. That's going to be about, I think that's about 13,500. All right, and her speed is very, very good. You crank that one up, and she is going to be rocket speed indeed. All right, so let's take a look at her initial skills. Swamp is beauty, deals low physical damage to 1 enemy, and then we have decay to reset, deals moderate nature damage to 1 enemy, and of course that really slappy special skill, Tree of Death. Deals very heavy nature damage to all enemies, applies mega possession to all enemies. All enemies will die after 3 turns. Ouch. Which means that if the mega possession lands, they will have 1 round to act for themselves. But true, I mean, if they have some kind of a skill that will remove negative status effects from themselves, they might very well use that. That's the way the AI is. But still, that is a really nice combination right there and could easily turn a battle. Wickah, protector of the swamp creatures, is tired of being given the cold shoulder by the rest of the protectors just because the swamp isn't as beautiful and radiant as the other parts of the forest. So she has a plan. She's going to claim part of the forest and its surroundings and turn it into a damp swamp biosphere. They won't be ignored anymore. Okay, well, she's dangerous, but as long as she stays in the forest, everything's okay, because I don't live in the forest. All right, so let's get her up to her first and final evolution. I should say her final evolution. This was her first evolution. And there she is. Okay, she looks very scary now. Don't mess with her. After all, she's one of the Forsaken, right? All right, we want skills, so let's get going with the skills. They begin at level 7. Belladonna deals moderate special damage to 1 enemy, removes positive status effects from 1 enemy. Okay, well, that's a good start. 0 cooldown, so yeah, that's not bad. Let's continue to level 10. Taxus Deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies blind to one enemy. Well, that's kind of useful right there. A good solid hit, and they're blind. All right, so let's continue to level 15. Ginko. Removes all negative status effects from one ally. Well, you know, probably not keeping that one. Actually, not keeping any of these, right? I'm sure the good stuff is yet to come. Of course, I'm not going to have access to the really good stuff because that's going to be for ranking up. We'll take a look at that stuff, though. All right, so let's continue to level 20. Stramonium? Removes all negative status effects from one ally, applies life regeneration, and protect positive status effects from one ally. Yeah, that's a lot better than just removing negative status effects. So, yeah, obviously that's an upgrade. Alright, so let's continue to level 25. Hippomane. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies, applies blind to all enemies. Okay, well, obviously that's an upgrade of that one. I mean, this one does more damage, but let's face it, it's all about the blindness, right? I mean, she's not a damage dealer. That's not what she's supposed to be. All right, so let's continue to level 30. Aconitum disables trait from one enemy, applies poison to all enemies. Okay, that's actually a good one. Let's just throw that there. That could be very useful because there are some traits on some monsters that are just really annoying. I don't know, like dodge area. And of course, it comes back and it poisons everybody. So, yeah, that's a good skill. All right, so let's go to level 35. Turmeric. Applies damage boost to all allies, applies precision to all allies. Okay, well, you know, it's a good boost there. Do we have anything else? Well, I'm not going to keep that one, right? So we'll throw that one there. After all, we're talking about support here, so we have to do something supporty too, right? All right, so let's continue. I guess we got two more left. Agiratina? I really don't like these names, by the way. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy, applies total blind to one enemy, and blind to other enemies. Alright, so something like that could be very useful if you have one of those individuals who dodges area attacks, because it looks like an attack that goes right for one enemy, gives them total blind, and then just says, you know what? Everybody else gets blind too, right? So that's actually useful. Let's see, I'm not taking that one out. That's probably a better idea. I mean, let's face it, we're not talking about the damage here on the right, right? But if we're getting the blind down, we might as well get the extra added ability to target one and give them total blind, right? Yeah, I think that's probably a good substitute right there. All right, so I think we should have one more left. So let's see if we get it here. Nope, we didn't. All right, so I'll go back and look at them just in case I want to do another swap. But we should have one new one here. Ricinus? I'm guessing that's it. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Disables trait on all enemies. Okay, so that's actually really good. That one is just a good idea. All right, do I want to take this one out now? I mean, it's got the poison part in it, which is pretty good. I mean, this is the only really beneficial one that I have now. I know that she gets better ones, but I mean, that's what I have now, right? I kind of need that one right there, the one I have already, if I'm going to disable the trait of somebody who dodges group attacks, because if I use the new one, they're just going to dodge it and they won't get the disabled trait. All right, I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to put this here for now. All right, so let's get her up to 60, and then we'll go take a look at the skills to see if there's something else we want to do. And, of course, look at the skills that we can't get now, right? The skills you have to rank her up to get. All right, and we're just going to keep that from there. All right, so let's just go quickly in here. Now, was there this one here? I mean, it's a nice boost, but I think that the first one with the removing negative status effects and the regeneration, you know what I'm thinking in terms of? I'm thinking in terms of, say, a Megaton tank. That would be a great thing for a Megaton tank, especially the protect positive status effects. So you couldn't take the Megaton off. That's just what I'm thinking of. That seems to be more useful than the other one. Damage boost and precision, really good, especially now that missing seems to be making a return. But I'm just thinking that skill is just more useful. All right, this one here, let's take a look at the other ones here. I can't see giving that one up. Like I said, this one is really good against the dodge area ones or the single individual who's got a really annoying trait, that kind of a thing. I mean, this one here will disable all of the traits, but this one will catch those individuals who are going to be dodging, you know what I mean? So that could be very useful. You can just follow up with it, And then there's this one, which again is a single target. That's a group right there. And removes positive status effects. Anything here? I don't think so. I think for now that I got the ones that I want to go with. And by that I mean, of course, let's just take a quick look down here. All right, we have chamomile. Chamomile? Okay. It's a wonderful tea. Applies double damage and true vision to one ally, gains extra turn for itself. Now, obviously, that's amazing, especially for the 105, right? Because you're going to give somebody double damage, true vision, and then you get to go again, which means you reduce the cooldown on all your skills that you used already. So that's a very good supporting one right there. I'm not even going to try it. Applies pierce to self, removes positive status effects, and disables traits of one enemy, removes pierce from self. All right, so it's basically a way of getting through defenses. You could do this to somebody who is being protected by somebody else who's like taunting or something like that. In other words, you can just get to them and disable their trait, right? Just bypass everything. I don't know about this. I mean, in the case of a Megaton situation, it's good that you could do that, but then what? You still have the Megaton tank going, So I don't know about this one. Would I really want this one more than something else? I mean, what kind of a situation would you actually use that in? I don't know. It could be. It's just that, I don't know, just to get to 110 for that. All right, then we have this one. Removes all negative status effects from all allies, applies immunity to torture and control. Oh, that is just a great one right there. That's just a great support. That's just great. I think somebody else has that nearly identically. I'm trying to remember who it might be. It might be Myrak has something like that, but I don't know if it removes negative status effects. But the immunity to torture and control is really great. If you control the first one on there, that's a great skill right there. And we have this one, deals moderate special damage to one enemy, removes positive status effects from one enemy, and then from all enemies, disables traits on all enemies. All right, well that one, of course, is against somebody who has protection from positive status effects. If you do a remove positive status effects and the individual has like positive status effects and protection, the first one will take the protection off, the second one will take the positive status effects off. That's my understanding of why you would do that. And of course, I think the trait disable should be a little bit later, but I guess maybe there might be trait protection, so you'd want to get rid of that first, right? All right, so obviously some of these are much better than others. I don't really think this one here, I wonder about that one. Why would you need Pierce to disable the trait? Like I said, if you're talking about bypassing the fact that there's a Megaton tank, you still couldn't do anything because the Megaton tank is still up. So I'm not really sure what that one is actually doing. It's just me. I don't know. I don't know what that one is doing. That's very good, too. Anyway, unfortunately, those are not available to us, so we picked what we had, didn't we? All right, let's check out the stats here. Strength is very good, 2233, and I think I said it was about 13,500, right? And it's a pretty good estimate if I do say so myself. The speed is that's really good. 2324, wow, that is really fast. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you put all speed on this, and this thing's just going to go and go and go. So the question is, does it really have the skills to justify that, Well, let's take a look, because we're going to take a look at the skills. These, of course, are the skills that I chose, and I am just not going to read the names again. Simple names, guys, simple names, okay? Let's start with this one. Removes all negative status effects from one ally, applies life regeneration, and protect positive status effects from one ally. All right, I chose this one over the ally damage boost and precision because this one just seems to be very, very useful, especially for Megaton tanks. because, they're getting hammered, they're getting hit, and who knows, you get somebody who takes off that Mega Taunt, and it's a big problem at that point because your entire team is exposed. Well, if Wickah gets in there and does that, not only do they get life regeneration, but they also get it so you can't take the Mega Taunt off of them. So that protects the team even more. Very, very good skill. I think that's more useful than the other one, right? All right, then we have this one. Disables trait on one enemy, applies poison to all enemies. Well, poison to all enemies is just really useful. The trait disable, I see this one being useful against those individuals who dodge group attacks. Like Wickah, for instance. So that could be very good there because, remember, a group version will miss because it's a group attack. This one goes directly for one individual and then disables it and then poisons everybody else just for fun. Like this one, for instance, deals moderate special damage to all enemies, removes positive status effects from all enemies, and disables trait. Now, the attack hits everybody, that's great. Removes positive status effects. They might have shielding up. They might have like regeneration, all kinds of damage buffs and things like that. Just take that all off and then disable the traits. But the thing is, remember, if there is somebody who's dodging group attacks, then none of that is going to hit that individual, which is the reason I have both of them. And then we have this one. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy, applies total blind to one enemy, and then blind to all enemies. Now, if you're going to speed up Wickah, and she had a first thing you wanted to do, and there was no Mega Taunt tank, that's a pretty good way to lead off. You pick the most dangerous individual, you give that one total blind, and then you give everybody else blind. And remember, it is a single target attack, so if you have another one of those individuals who dodges group attacks, well, they're going to get the total blind, right? Unless, of course, they resist it or something like that. Or, of course, Wickah misses, which is, I don't think, something that she's going to do after all. She's one of the Forsaken. So she's got some really good stuff. Unfortunately, the best stuff is kind of locked away behind the rankings. And as a member of the Forsaken, it's not so easy to get to, right? But she does have some good stuff. And the simple presence of that dodge area makes her really useful. Really useful indeed. You can build entire teams now with denial, support, and attackers who all dodge group attacks, which is kind of annoying. But you know what? Very, very powerful. She's got a great speed among everything else, so it's tempting to just go like single target speed and make her like really fast. She's only got one skill that really screams denial, the blinding one. The thing about it is that I think I would probably go more support with her, support speed. I mean, you could throw other support stuff in. It's just that I think I would probably go 3 support speeds across the board because she wouldn't be who I would use as denial. Now, if there was a Mega Taunt tank in the group, then you probably wouldn't even have to worry about denial. Just throw her in, maybe have Wildbird over and bring the Forsakens along, both of them along, because there are only 2 right now. And just have a Mega Taunt tank, Dunra or Hyperia or Mephisto or something like that, and just have her first act to say, oh, by the way, you're not taking that Mega Taunt off my big friend right here. No, you're going to have to, and I'm going to start regenerating them. And then she can do all kinds of ugly things to the other side, disabling traits, poisoning them and stuff, while the damage dealer does its job. So she definitely has her place. I wouldn't make her denial, even though she's got the blinding thing. I'm thinking support runes would be the best way to go with her. Anyway, this is Wickah. She is, of course, very good, but she'll be much better once you rank her up. The key is actually getting those cells to do that, isn't it? So anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya.